We went with a completely black helicopter, just blacked it out, man, and that thing turned out amazing. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we are here at the new Goon Squad garage, and as you guys seen in the previous video, we finally were able to wire up our LT4 supercharged engine inside this Camaro. Got all the wires on the engine fully plugged in, and also we ran that through the firewall inside the cabin. Got the computers, the transmission computer, and all that stuff connected. All we got left is just a few little wires that we're trying to figure out, and also basically putting a battery in this thing and to see if we can get actual power to the engine itself today, dude.
We got to get this sucker cranking like the soldier boy, man.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, man, this is taking a good bit of time, like we did mention, but you know what? Wiring is the most important thing. Without wires, you ain't got a car, dude.
Yep,
you know
that
what
is
I mean?
right. Yeah, this stuff was super easy in this engine bay, but over here, we're still trying to figure this stuff out. But honestly, I think after today, we'll be able to just go ahead and wire everything up and finally get the juice going to that starter and get this motor just like spinning, dude.
If we can get this thing to at least crank, not start yet because we're still waiting on a few things, but if we can get some power to it and hear it turn over, that would be an absolute amazing thing to hear. So that's exactly what we're gonna try to do today. So the first thing that we're gonna do is actually run to the parts store, grab a battery for this thing, maybe a few battery cables, that way we can run to this engine and possibly go see if we got any parts at parents' house and come back here and start plugging more things up.
Guys, so actually change of plans. We decided that we're gonna spend the day fixing our sister's car. She really wants us to fix it, so what do you guys think? Should we?
It was actually his idea to fix my car today, so
Psych.
Are you ready? Let's see it. Oh, dude.
Dramatic. Да, це goonzquad.
Oh my goodness, guys. So we just got back from parents' house gathering a bunch of stuff. Also, we finally picked up the battery for the 67 Camaro, but we also got something in the mail, and look at this. We just found the coolest gift that somebody sent all the way from Ukraine. I mean, look at the box that it came in. These guys, I mean, look at the detail in the box right there. You got the engraving right there on the back and all that good stuff. This is just absolutely insane. Look at these tags. These key tags are absolutely high definition. The detail is just insane. We might have to get some of those on the website, but the coolest thing that I noticed so far is these plates, dude. Look at those plates, dude, man.
That is legit. Ukrainian Goon Squad tags. Those are gonna go on the Porsche.
On the Porsche, dude, you got that right, dude. We're gonna slap that on the front or something. But Pops found their phone number and he called them all the way in Ukraine, and they were just absolutely blown away. They couldn't believe it. And it was actually her husband her husband sent the gift, but she picked up, and they're gonna call back. We're gonna FaceTime them and just give them and just have a nice little time with them over Viber. You know what I mean?
Sir. Especially supporting Ukraine and all that stuff that's going on over there, dude. Those guys are epic, dude.
Dude, those guys are awesome right there, and that's just absolutely insane. So we're super grateful for them that they sent that. We're definitely gonna thank them over FaceTime. But as of right now, we're gonna get back to work on this 67 Camaro, get some more stuff done. Oh, no way.
Dude.
Dude, are you serious?
I think so, dude.
I think we figured it out, dude. That was, we can't start it too much because it doesn't have oil in it, right?
Yeah, no oil in there, but you can hear it. I mean, when we try it again.
One more time. Oh, snap. That didn't sound too good right there, dude.
Dude, that is awesome, dude.
What? Dude, that is insane. So basically, give them a run through of what we did and what we wired up.
I mean, right now, we're just wiring up everything that we gotta like finish up. Like right now, we just wired up an actual wire to constant power to the fuse box. So now we got power directly to the fuse box, and we wired up our alternator and also our starter. So we had to sit there, fiddle with it a little bit, trying to figure everything out, use some of the wiring harness that was already on this car right here. And as for our alternator, we just connected it to one of these wires here. I don't know which one we need to, but we're just testing stuff out.
So for the alternator, all we need is a 12-volt halt wire, which we don't know which one it is, but that's later stuff we could figure out. Dude, but this is exciting, dude, because all we have to do right now to get this thing fired up is run some fuel to it.
Fuel and some oil, and this thing would probably run really good, dude.
Dude, this is some epic discovery stuff right here, dude.
Epic, dude. Got all the grounds connected. I mean, right now we're just gonna have to be very careful. We need oil in this thing. It's been dry for a very long time. Maybe we can just pour it in there without the dipstick hole. Hopefully it doesn't pour out, but I'd like to just turn it over a little bit more, you know?
Oh, so we didn't throw belts on. Might have locked it up because it didn't want to spin over now.
What do you mean it has this
This belt was trying to spin too.
Oh, that's nothing.
And it's jammed up right here.
No, it's not.
It is.
Oh, the suspension. We didn't put the suspension on.
Oh, snap, dude. We could have ruined this motor right here. This is like a $20,000 motor, right?
I don't know, something like that. It's gonna start, dude.
It's gonna start.
It's gonna start.
We just need to give it some of that
juice.
That juice, man.
We need to feed it some apple juice, man.
Dude, we bought some today too.
Dude, we did, man. We might just squirt it in there, dude.
That kind of scared me a little bit because this was kind of jammed up against the suspension, which we got to take care of that.
Yeah,
dude.
I mean, somebody did say that that's really close. It is kind of close. We did not notice that until we like finished everything up. We even had to trim up the frame over here for the alternator. They do have a different setup. I know their setups are the alternators up here and the actual pump for the AC is a little bit higher. This is a midsection setup. I don't know why we went with this. Like we said, we don't work on classic cars. It's our first time, but this right here, I guess we're just gonna have to roll with it. Well, the car's all the way down. The control arm does get a little closer to it, but we have to adjust our coilovers. They're completely down. Once we jack it up, they'll probably sit about this far from it, and we'll just go from there. If we start ripping it hard and it starts bumping up against this, we'll figure it out later.
We'll figure something out. We'll cut this control arm off right there.
Yeah, we'll cut it off. We'll do some customizing.
Yeah, there's plenty of learning to do, but the main thing, of course, like we said, is try to get... We cranked it, dude.
We cranked it, dude. That is just super awesome. Probably the best news since we started working on this car. That is just insane. I mean, from there, now we can go ahead and just feed this sucker fuel. We're waiting on a nice oil line that goes to the side of the engine. There's a hole right there, and it'll run to this. I think this is an oil separator or something like that. And that's pretty much it. And then we got a dipstick coming in. Our fuel line is already in. We can actually go ahead and start running our fuel lines to the fuel pump, run our fuel pump wire to the actual fuse box itself. And dude, we'll have a running car.
How's it? It turns over so much better with oil in it,
Way
dude.
better with oil, dude. That's crazy,
dude,
man.
That's insane. All we literally got to do right now is just... We got a fuel pump on here, but I don't know if it's going to work. But this car, I think, needs 75 PSI.
Dude, whatever is on here is going to at least get it started, dude. You know what I mean? I feel like it'll at least get it started to be like 100% proper, like running capacity. Obviously, we're going to put a nicer one on there. Yeah. But for right now, dude, that's our main goal. We got good cranking, got oil in it. Dipstick is still missing. We got the hole right there. We're keeping an eye on it. Put 6 quarts. So with this oil pan, it's a lot less quarts. I believe OEM's like 10 quarts in the LT4. Now we can run 6 because the oil pan's smaller.
We got a wet sump wet oil sump on here.
Yeah.
The dry sump is what, like
Corvettes.
Yeah, Corvettes. It's like an extra canister on the side. It's made for like better cornering or whatnot.
Yeah, it's like a track focus. You know, dry sumps are for track, but we don't need none of that, dude.
And also we installed that drain back tube, right?
Drain back tube. I think that's like a OEM oil separator, catch can, something like that, which is perfect. We don't need nothing more, but we just went ahead and installed all that. That way, the oil doesn't go pouring out. You know?
That's right. So right now, I guess we're gonna try to possibly maybe get some fuel in here.
Hey, we can use that fuel line for now right here. If it's long enough, maybe it's too short. See, that's the thing about this. Yeah, it's way too short.
I don't know if it'll attach onto there though. How can we get it to attach?
We can possibly use some of these attachments. We do have a custom attachment coming, but that's probably going to be in tomorrow. So we can try to make something work. If we can make something work today, we can. If not, we're going to start this thing tomorrow.
Alrighty guys, so we are just pretty much just giving up on this sucker, I think, dude.
Not yet, man. Maybe for the day, but not forever, because man, we are just kind of slumped. We're kind of in a corner, dude.
Dude, we're getting so close though, so we ended up actually being able to figure out the fuel pump situation. We can hot wire it. Yeah. It works and everything, right?
Yeah, it works. I think there's already a leak in one of the older lines, so we'll fix that later, but it works. It pumps really high pressure. It sounds good and stuff like that. We even ran a new line up top right here to that, and we just, you know, just shoved it in there for now. We're still waiting on that little special clip, but we just wanted to see if we can start this thing up. So, I mean, we're having all sorts of like stuff going on this engine. We're trying to figure out everything out. All the grounds are connected, all the positives are connected, but we are not getting any spark. So the PCM, I believe, is just not cutting on, which on regular custom harnesses, you got a little red wire coming out of the fuse box, and that's for your ignition key and cranking key. And as for this harness, it does not have no red wire, so we cannot figure anything out. We have a wire going to that fuse box, and it's constant power. It has power to some of the fuses, but not the PCM. It's not cutting the PCM off, you know what I mean?
It's not cutting on the computer, so that means it's not going to cut on any of the sparks. So it'll crank over, it'll get fuel even if we hot wire it, but it's not going to fire up. So we did notice after doing a bunch more research, we noticed that there's this box right here. That's like the tachometer and everything, and there's like an ignition thing right there. Maybe there's a different way to wire it up.
This is for the fan controller. So this controls a fan. I don't know if this does anything with it starting ignition. Maybe it tells the fans that the ignition on or something like that. We got a brand new speedometer coming, Dakota Digital as well. It's a lot bigger, a computer that comes with it, and it connects a lot more stuff, and it connects to the OB2 port. So that's going to tell us a lot more what's going on with the car. So we're probably going to have to wait for that. It may even come in the next day, so it could be here. Next video, it should definitely be here. But other than that, I mean, we went through the whole car. We went through the whole Google search database of how to find where does the ignition wire go to the actual wiring harness, because we have that wire. It's from the old wiring harness, and it actually has a spot in the old wiring harness to connect the ignition, but this wiring harness just doesn't have it. Unless we're just not seeing it, dude.
Yeah, we just need to somehow energize that fuse box, and that fuse box is going to tell the PCM and the TCM to turn on, basically. But we're still going to do some digging. You know what? At least we got this sucker just cranking over, dude.
We got it cranking over. It sounds pretty. I mean, it's just spinning through and all that stuff. I guess in the next video, we're going to call up PCI, and they're going to be like, hey, guys, plug this in, dude. PSI.
All right, so before we go, guys, we got some huge news. And as you guys remember, probably about 2 years ago, we bought an old R-22 helicopter. And you know what? We started taking that sucker apart, so on and so forth. And then we were like, dude, we cannot handle this. We got to send this to the professional, because this ain't no joke. This ain't no car. This is something that goes into the air and hovers around. and it could be very dangerous if you don't put it together properly. So we actually ended up getting that sucker completely overhauled, and look at this thing. It is practically brand new, black on black. Look at that, it's beautiful. Look at that interior, dude.
Diamond stitching it all. So we went with a completely black helicopter, just blacked it out, man, and that thing turned out amazing, dude.
Basically a brand new helicopter there. Everything brand new, blades, engine, transmission, tail cone, everything, dude.
Yes, sir. And it was done by professionals, and they knocked that sucker out.
They knocked it out, but unfortunately, we were never able to see this thing in person or even go to learn to fly, because we actually made a decision to just go ahead and sell that sucker, because we were reading some of your guys' comments and you guys were not too fond of helicopters, honestly. And it kind of makes sense, because you know what we do is we rebuild wrecked cars. We don't do helicopters. So we just decided to get rid of that thing. And plus, on top of that, it would have took us probably like a couple weeks to learn to fly that thing. That's like time we don't have right now. You know what I mean?
Especially with all the builds going on and everything going on, dude. And also, I mean,
it's expensive.
It's expensive, dude.
It was expensive, and to be honest with you guys, I think we might have lost money on this helicopter.
Yeah, if not broke even
maybe,
and just got rid of it, which just makes the financial decision to get rid of it a lot just better, because it's like, why would we do a rebuild if we can just go buy one just like ours, you know, already rebuilt?
Exactly, yeah. We did spend a lot of time taking it apart. You know, we've made a little bit of content here and there, but after selling it, we were like, wow, we could have just bought the helicopter instead of doing all that back and forth, taking it apart, doing all that extra stuff. So that was just a huge eye-opener for us. And on top of that, you know what? I think we could save that airplane stuff and the airspace stuff for like maybe when we retire or something like that, because we got to stick to this epic stuff right here. And on top of that, you know what? We got a lot of bills that we got to pay. You know, the fence is super expensive. You know, there's still a bunch of stuff that we got to do to this building over here. The Porsche parts are super expensive. And on top of that, we want to buy a paint booth and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
so
we want to invest into the channel to make epic content, dude.
Because that helicopter would have been basically for us, our own personal good. But this channel is not about us. It's about you guys. And that's what we want to do. We want to provide some epic content for you guys. But let us know what you guys think about that in the comments section down below. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for all the love and support. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.